We are live on YouTube. Let me let Facebook load up a bit. Alright, well, welcome back and happy Friday. Welcome back to YouTube, everybody. And today is maybe a happy Friday for you, but today also marks the absolute worst trading week of my entire life. Not that I've been trading for that long, but definitely this week by far is the worst week that I've ever had. I've lost... I went from profitable about 20% to negative 10% or something like that. I'm down. I'm definitely negative from my account starting balance for the month. If you are just tuning in or you don't know what that means, typically I like to start with about $5,000 in my trading account every month. I'd gladly show you if it didn't also reveal my account number. That's the only reason I don't really show that. And this vlog is to be 100% transparent about all this kind of stuff and see if you want to trade as well in the futures market, then just don't do what I do. It's basic. Everything I did this week, don't do what I did. It's just a pretty terrible week. And so today is the worst day of the week. I know yesterday that I was saying, hopefully some of this stuff will turn around, and I'm gonna stop relying on other people's opinions and stop relying on picks from people that I don't even know who they are. I don't even know what their background is. A lot of their picks and their zones that they give out, like they have to do it. There's pressure for them to do it because that they're being paid to show you those types of things, and so it's like there is a little bit of a conflict there. And number one thing being, I don't know their background, right? And I learned from one of my mentors before, don't learn from someone who hasn't had at least a decade or two, preferably 2 decades of experience in this game. And I have to admit, this past week I've been following people who I never heard of before, and I just been and they've been wrong. They've been over. I've been over, but so have they. So I don't know if everybody else is having a terrible week. There's definitely plenty of opportunity that I'm seeing in hindsight, which does me no good. But let's talk about some of it. Today's going to be a very, very short broadcast. I don't want to live in my embarrassment of the worst trading week of my life for too long. I don't think that that serves anybody. Unless you enjoy other people's pain, in which case, feel free to revel in my losses, I guess. But so what we're looking at yesterday was a huge loss in my for me specifically is so I took the long and the euro, and it started to work until it fell off a cliff. As the London session opened, it just dropped all the way down here, and of course it wants to drop all the way down here before it looks like it wants to rally again. Who knows? I have no idea. I have no clue. I've just taken so much damage this week that my senses are I don't know. I don't know. Whatever I think, clearly I'm wrong, right? So I was in the long, and the big mistake here that I'll take full responsibility for is that I didn't move my stop up. I stacked on a contract, but I didn't move my stop up. I kept it down on the 1800 level or so. And so what that does is it actually accelerates my losses, right? So if I'm in a position from the 1825, I had 2 contracts at 1825, and then I added one at 1870 or 1875 or something like that, halfway through. We broke the halfway point, and I'm feeling good about it. I guess I should have been scared of this area. I think I mentioned it the other day. This area, this little base drop here, and that's exactly where it turned. I should have respected it more, but I figured, but I didn't. I didn't respect it at all. I figured it was inside of the butter. As we like to call it, in between the green lines is something we called inside of the butter. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna give that as much strength. But turns out I was wrong again, because that's exactly the zone where I should have taken this 100 some odd pip move down through my stop. And so really what this does is it actually makes me lose. It's as if I took a long here and I lost, my stop was 50, 75 pips instead of 25. So it's as if I lost 3 25 pip trades, in addition to the 25 pip trade that I was going to lose anyway. So in total, that's 5 quarters. That's 125 pip loss, which in euros, let's see, 125 pips times $1.25 a pip. Well, that's like a that's a $200 loss there, right? So that is completely unacceptable, because that is way out. That is outside of my $125 dollar-ish kind of a risk tolerance for my stop losses, right? I didn't move my stop up, because moving my stop up before has come back to bite me in the ass before. But like, this is what happens if you don't move it. You lose extra. So it's like every move that you could possibly do wrong, I've done it all in the span of the past 5 days. So if you've ever had a bad week, trust me, I can feel it. I'm feeling it right now. Honest to God, I really didn't want to. I wish like my computer broke or something, because like I really wanted a valid excuse to not have to come online and like tell people how poorly I did, how much money I lost. Like, it's not a good feeling, right? And it's not like, it's not like this is a live video. It is August 21st, 5:56 p.m. right now. Like, it's live. It's not like I have time to like make a video about it after, I feel better, like after a day or two. I have the weekend to feel better about it or something like that. Today is not one of those days. Today is one of those days that's like, it marks the worst trading day that worst trading week, that I've ever had. I've had worse days, but usually it's been back-to-back days where like, it's like a loss and a win, and it's like it counterbalances, right? And so it actually works out. So not good at all. I mean, what makes it kind of worse for me, honestly, is I took a shot at the crude oil, right? We summarized the huge loss in the euro dollar, which was completely unacceptable. Why didn't I move my stop? Rookie mistake. Actually, no, the rookie mistake is having no stop, and sitting in a loss and being like, I don't know what to do. So it's like I didn't make the absolute rookie mistake, but I still made a novice mistake of not moving my stop loss and managing my risk, which is the number one most important thing by far. And I didn't do that at all. So on the crude oil, you know that I like to take the crude oil opening range trades, and that to me I stayed away from, because look at this, just very steady downtrend, and a huge opportunity for me to take a retest at the 42.50 that I neglected, even though I watched it happen, because I told myself, you know what, I'm going to wait for the opening range. Right, because this was at 8:30 in the morning, and I watched it kind of cross, and I was like, I want the short, but I'm going to wait until the opening range, and then maybe try to take this zone to bounce it back up for a 3-to-1 on the long side, not on the short side, which was obviously the wrong move, but it's going counter trend, right? I shouldn't have gone counter trend. I should have tried to jump on the downtrend, even if the opening range was in my way and playing defense against me. I should have still I still waited, or is still just jumped on, because that's the more higher probability move. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I didn't do the high probability move. I did the low probability move. I guess it's just one of those. It's just one of those days where it's like I can't seem to buy a bucket. Buy a bucket being like a basketball reference. Not that bucket isn't a technical term for trading at all, just in case you were wondering. Opening range. What happens on the opening range? I usually take the 5-minute on the opening range, or pay attention to it, and because I have not been taking it recently because it's been kind of a scary move. There's room to the downside, but there wasn't that much room. I guess I could have taken the like a 2-to-1, so to speak, but this zone playing defense in my face was something that I didn't want. I could have squeezed out a 1-to-1, but if I did squeeze out a 1-to-1 off of the 1 minute, to minimize my risk down to like 10, I would have definitely gotten stopped out. So either way, like my trading rule wouldn't have worked. Also, if you look at a larger time frame, so I did have a set right here. I did have a set and forget order sitting at the 41.75 to take it either at least 2-to-1, usually 3-to-1, right? 2-to-1 is my minimum. And 3-to-1 is my bread and butter. If I have multiple contracts, I'll allow one of them to run, right? That's the one I'm going to gamble with, right? After I've locked in profits. But I'm in such a losing streak right now. I didn't take multiple contracts. I only took the one contract. And guess what happened? My entry is at the green line, and it came down all the way to within 1 tick, right? The low here, if you look at the low here, it's 41.775, 0.025. That's 1 tick. 1 tick away from entry to, and it went up to, and it took a 2-to-1 without me. I left the order there because I probably shouldn't have, because it technically it was tested. I don't know. Does it count if it gets tested near me or not? Some people say yes, some people say no. But I left it just because I didn't want to overmanage my trade, which was something that I was already guilty of doing this entire week, right? And I didn't. But it turns out like I should have. It's like damned if I do, damned if I don't. That's really the theme of the week here. Whoops. Because you can see that it did rally. It just did it on the next quarter down. So I don't have the line drawn here, but how do I do this? So this line right here is the next quarter. So I took a shot at the 41.75 when really the zone that would have worked, the level that the price that would have worked was the 41.50, a quarter down. I missed it by a quarter, and that was another 125 bucks or so of a loss there. But really, to me, that's not even that. To me, it's not surprising at all, which is what's frustrating. Like if it's like I don't understand what's happening, I'm just making rookie mistakes, like the stop loss for the euro thing. That was a rookie mistake. I own that. That was dumb on my part. But like if I have the right analysis, and I'm getting like shafted by 1 point, or I'm getting stopped out by like 2 ticks, which is what happened. Which would have happened here. I got stopped out by 2 ticks. Those are the things that just piss me off to no end, and that's the thing that's been happening the most this week. So it's like the universe is like, I think the universe is like testing me. Like, let me give you all the things that piss you off the most, all in a row in a span of a week, and give you nothing else. Let's see how you handle that kind of emotional test and mental test, right? And I'm like, I'm not handling it very well, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, like this is it's very upsetting. But like this is a level that I definitely talked about early in the week. If you go and rewind and take a look at my videos before, this is definitely a level that I mentioned. Like there's a I don't know what the name of the formation is, but it's like an upside down hammer formation, right? See how this candle. See how this candle looks kind of like an upside down hammer, right? That usually signifies, yes, the wick definitely shows selling pressure pushing it down, but the fact that you have the body is so little and towards the end of the formation indicates that possibly what you're looking at is a reversal. Another reason for that is that, and this is only at the time, this isn't a legitimate reason for the zone, but at the time, you have a bearish, I screw up the words, hidden bullish divergence. This blue line is hidden bullish divergence right here. What that means is that the longer term trend will probably more than likely continue. So you can see up until that point, we were dealing with up until that point we were dealing with an uptrend, and this right here was a retracement, and it broke the previous low right around here. But and this is why I don't use many indicators. The RSI is pretty much the only thing that I use, but the RSI is telling you, hey, this is about as it retraced about as much as it's gonna retrace. The blue line is saying the longer term you can expect more of a longer term continuation after, which was the uptrend, right? That's what it's called, hidden bullish divergence. So it's actually saying, hey, there's two reasons for you to look at this little level right here. There's two reasons for you to look at it and say, I'm going to buy, despite the fact that you're looking at like lower lows, lower highs, right? And this is on the 4 hour. This is not a small time frame, especially for oil. Most people like 2 minutes or 5 minutes on crude oil, but I don't play that game. Sometimes I feel like I should, because at least I'll scalp tiny little wins here and there, I'm not gonna lie. I've been very tempted to just completely throw out my trading plan, and I want to throw everything away. But double ego, what does that mean? Double ego. I'm curious what that means. Whatever it is, you're probably right. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for the comment. Regardless, I don't know what double ego means. I never heard that before. But yeah, so this area right here is a good area to look at the formation of it and say, hey, you know what? This is a good area to try and double echo. Fuck. Excuse my language. I tested the audio before. It's not working again? Thank you for the... Oh. See, my problem is my settings don't save. Let me know if my audio is better. Like, instead of you don't hear me twice. I was wondering what a double ego was. That's funny because I never heard that before. Double echo is a bigger problem. It's a technical issue, and I don't want that to happen. So hopefully that fixes the sound. Hopefully. I know why the double echo was happening. And that was a setting that I thought was saved. But for whatever reason, it doesn't save. before I broadcast. Perfect now. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy, for the feedback. I'm still getting used to this new platform that I have here and broadcasting to multiple areas. So thank you for the feedback. And the and the slight jab. I thought you were making fun of me. Like, what's a double ego? But anyway. So yeah, this area is a place that I was looking at earlier this week, right? But I didn't take a shot. I didn't take a shot at this 4150. I don't know why. Because when I traded Forex, I would do these kind of stacked orders, like take a buy here, take a buy here, and take a buy here, just like, because you don't really know which price it's going to turn at. You just know that momentum is slowing down in that area, but you don't know like exactly where. So like you have an option of taking I could take this area with a bigger stop, right? With like a $250 or like a $300 zone. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just take a $125 risk here, another $125 risk there, and then another one and take 3 shots at it, because you have that much more room to actually trade a longer period of, like a bigger move. Because either way, my target's the same. My target is this. My target is the 4250. So it's like if I were to have landed, if I'm looking for 3-to-1 trades and I land the lower one after having gotten stopped out, I lose a 1-to-1 and then I win a 4-to-1. So I still get the result that I initially intended. But I didn't do that. I'm saying it like it's a good thing to do, and I shoulda, woulda, coulda done it, but I didn't do it at all. I was scared. I was like, this is look at the strength. What was going through my mind, honestly, was like, look how strong this move up was. So this is the area that should hold. I don't want to lose a second one, and so I got gun shy about taking the second level. Now, even if I took this, technically I would not have hit my target yet, and now I'm holding it over the weekend, which is like adding a different element of risk, because now we're talking about like, okay, well, what's going to happen over the weekend? Is Trump going to say something and tweet something over the weekend that's going to affect the energy markets? We don't know, right? There's always that kind of a risk. So even if I just took profits off the table for a Friday, I would have ended up with a 2-to-1, which is like, that's the proper way to risk manage, right? Let me be perfectly clear. That's the proper way to do it. I did not do that at all, right? I didn't do that at all. I just took the loser. That's all I did. That's all I did this entire week. I'm over for the entire week. Everything that actually was profitable in the beginning, like my Euro trade, turned around into a loss. And currently, all I'm holding right now is, I still had this order in. I have 3 contracts on the British pound. Same kind of concept here, taking it off the 75, the 3075 off of the 3000, which is the major big quarter here, and just taking this price off here. Look at this range, right? Look at how, this is all in hindsight. I did manage to get, you can see from the arrow here, I did manage to pick up this 175 pip move. So that it was actually a win, technically. I actually did take a win earlier this week. I totally forgot about it. Until I looked at it right now, that I actually did have one win. I took so many losses that I forgot that I had one win. Not that it matters. It still mathematically counts as the worst trading week of my life ever. Like my entire year. Right, this to me is the equivalent of my personal version of my COVID crash. But you can see that I could have done the same thing I did before. I just forgot. I just missed it. I didn't have my alerts set and stuff like that. And I didn't have margin and all this other crap that I wasn't paying attention to. But you can see how well the currencies especially respect the quarters really, really well. The 30.75 came down right to the tick. This one picked me up perfectly. And then I took my profit. I took profit along the way. I had multiple contracts. That's why you see multiple red arrows, because I bought here, sold here. I sold at a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1, and then at the 250, you can see 250 is where it spanked the price all the way back down, all the way down to this hesitation band, went all the way back up to the 250, and then all the way back down. So like people who are better than me at quarters probably took this all 1, 2, 3, 4 directions. Just treating the 250 as a short area, and then treating this area of support as a buy area, right? And like if I only see this, right, and this is like hypothetical. I did not do this, and like I should have. If I'm seeing this, I'm like, prices pushing it back down. Can I take, like, I'm ready to I'm essentially, like, even if I see this, right, I'm essentially trying to catch a falling knife in the shorter term time frame, which is usually a big no-no, right? Usually it's like, people who try to a funny saying that some of you might know is if you try to pick bottoms, you'll end up with stinky fingers, right? And so that's usually the sentiment. But understand that is just in general, and that's without the edge of quarters pricing to help you, right? So when I see this, first of all, I'm looking at like two things. I'm looking at how the RSI is. Look how weak the RSI is. Is it gonna break 40 as it enters my level, which is what I want to attempt to take here. And then I'm also gonna be ready to take this dotted line, which is the 30.25, right? I'm also gonna be ready to take the 3,000. Take 3 shots, right? I have like I have 3 strikes to hit, right? And each time. In the currency specifically, this is such a bigger risk to reward that like I could legitimately take 5 shots and I would still be okay. Like one of them would work and I would be break even for the day. And so I could probably take a shot at the 3,075, 3,025, and the 3,000. Definitely with a lot of confidence that the 3,025 will hold if the 3,075 doesn't. Right, some people will take the 50s as well, but the way that I was trained, the 50s are a little bit more easy to break through, so you don't take the 50s. But the 75s and 25s are those are the quarters you want to pay attention to. Obviously, in retrospect, you can see that the 33,075 held really, really nicely, and you can see the RSI didn't really break above below 40, and we get the bullish. Hidden bullish divergence with the blue line saying, hey, you know what? The longer term trend of this you would see it better on a daily. If I were to, so the longer term trend, this is a daily going back all the way to June and July. So the longer term uptrend is more likely to continue based on what this blue line is showing, right, on the 4-hour, right? So there's like multiple reasons there that you should take this price. You should take the 3,075. The more sloppy way to do it is to throw a trade on the 3,075, throw another one on 3,025, and throw another one on 3,000. That's more of a sloppy, lazy way to do it. And you're like, you know what? One of those will hit, and I'm okay with any one of them hitting. And you would have been right. But I like to have. Even if I do end up setting and throwing 3 trades on there, I still like to know that I have confluence. I have multiple reasons of to be in a trade and stay in a trade. And then you can see that same kind of situation here. Once I'm in, I would probably stack. But if I'm not already in, I don't really chase, because like this kind of wick could kind of destroy you. Like if I just wanted to chased, let's say, at the 50, 30, or the 31, the 3100 even, would have actually worked, because this low dropped down all the way to 3100 even. And I remember I had the order at this order has been there for a while, if I'm not mistaken. This order at 3075 has been there, and it since I hit it, since I saw this candle, and I was hoping for a retracement down, but never happened. But that's the only trade that I have any money in right now, and that's really it. You know, this is like I'm just sharing the kind of strategy that I trade. I did not execute very well. I took the shots that I did take this week. It was a swing and a miss. You know, it was as if, like, you know, I'm not comparing myself to any like good baseball player. I don't play baseball at all, actually. But it's as if like someone who typically hits like a like a 200 kind of batting average strikes out like five games in a row. Like all you do is strike out, right? And there was a little bit of a base hit here. Now that I think about it, from here to here, it kind of you know helps a little bit, minimizes the sting a little, but not really. And right now, how do I feel about this trade that I'm in? I'm thinking that it's likely to do the same, because but I have to watch, right now market's closed right now for the weekend, and we'll see what happens over on Saturday, and when the market opens Sunday night, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there is not a ridiculous, you know, kind of news headline that comes out on Saturday that just breaks this down even further, because I can't take much more losses. Overall, I'm not really down that much. I took a 20% hit this week, but that was when I was already like I was already like 20% up. So that's the other thing too, right? I do a whole video on how like ROI is very misleading, because a 20%, I was up 20% and then I lost 20%. That does not mean I'm break even, right? In case you guys are wondering about that kind of a math. If you gain 20% and then you lose 20%, you're actually negative. Because you're losing 20% off the high, off the bigger number, and you're only gaining 20% off of the original smaller number, right? So when I say I lost 20%, I'm talking about, you know, I started the week having 20% gains, and then I'm finishing the week having lost 20% off that number. Now I'm negative, right? And it's not unbearable, but it sucks because of the way that it happened, right? And so mathematically, it's like not too bad, but you know, that's just me trying to make myself feel a little bit better. You know, the way that it happened, the string of losses, the execution, the poor execution on my own plan, and it's, I guess you could say, it's like the undisciplined execution on my own plan was really bad, because like I especially on crude oil, there was so much potential to make, like I talked about this yesterday, this candle and this candle alone, if you're just range trading textbook quarters, I'm not like, you know, this is not in hindsight, this is just like textbook quarters, and I took a shot today, it didn't work, right? Textbook quarters trading, you would have made $1,000 in one day yesterday, and I made neither, right? Because I like was, you know, scared as it was happening. You know, I was thinking about the opening range as working against me. I looked at this as a potential buy as this candle was forming. I looked at this, but I had my margins set up on a different contract, on a soybeans contract, or was it a wheat contract? Different, an agro market contract, and now it was like, you know, I picked the wrong asset to trade, because that was a loss. So I sacrificed this $1,000 win, and I picked up an extra like $150 or $125 or $150 loss, depending on how big the zone was. I don't really quite remember. So it's just really poor execution. It doesn't mean I didn't see it. I definitely saw it, but that didn't matter because I didn't take it. So that's one of those things that, like, I guess, like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in the same situation where what you know and what you do has a huge discrepancy. Well, that's how my week went this week, and it's I don't know what I need to do, like, mentality wise, to hit the reset button and start fresh next week. But I am starting with a lot less money, so I have to make adjustments in terms of how much risk that I'm willing to take now because I have less money in my account. I don't really have the capacity to think about it today, honestly. But you'll find out. Tune in on Monday and find out how that goes. How maybe do I continue to lose? Do I continue to tank my account and blow up completely? Right? You want to watch me do that? Hopefully not. Hopefully you're rooting for me to make some gains and at least make a respectable and aggressive kind of a comeback like next week, right? If you're gonna stick around, I am gonna do another live where we talk about where I play a financial freedom game. So that's completely separate from day trading, completely separate. You won't see any charts. You'll see me play a game and illustrate the journey. Like, it's a very simplistic game, but it's the best free tool out there that I know of to illustrate the journey of financial freedom, that as I understand it, and as has been taught by multiple different gurus, and it's free, right? So if you guys want to check out the game yourself, I'm going to show you how to play it, and then you can start practicing yourself as well. So stick around. I'm going to take a break, and we're going to be back in like 5 minutes or so. Same place, except for the trading groups that I'm broadcasting in. If you want to check that out, head over to yoon.tube. If you're on your browser, just type in yoon.tube and it'll bring you to my YouTube channel so that you can actually watch me do a simulated version of financial freedom in less than an hour, right? I'm gonna play the game, and you can watch me walk you through why I'm making certain decisions. Okay, so stick around and give me 5 minutes. I just need to grab some water and reset the broadcast. See you soon.